Hello, Bob.
Hi, Sinead.
I'm very excited to talk to you. And we talk a lot, but we haven't talked on camera in a very long time because we've been like two ships passing in the night.
Yeah,
You've got a
that's true.
suitcase behind me. You're just back from,
I'm just back from the UK.
I'm
Um,
grabbing you on your way home from the airport. But we
yeah.
had to talk because there's been huge news in iCabbi recently, particularly for our customers in North America. We announced a couple of weeks ago the acquisition of MoveX,
hmm
who we've been working with for over 18 months in terms of building out the integration between iCabbi and MoveX to launch a new product, Move AI. There's a lot of noise happening in the market, and I thought we needed to sit down and talk about it. So, what's going on?
Well, I suppose this is the biggest move we've seen in our business and in the market. The biggest I can ever remember, actually. If I think back to 2017, it's when we first recognised that medical transportation was going to play such a big part in the evolution of the taxi business in the US and in Canada. So to finally now have a product that we can, address that situation, it's really amazing.
So many of our customers in North America identify themselves to us as taxi and NEMT.
hmm
So the Move AI product, what does it do in addition to what's currently available on the iCabbi platform? What is the opening up of new features, and how does it work for these fleets that offer non-emergency medical transportation services?
I think the biggest words that should relate to it are sort of efficiencies, cost savings, improved services, and so on. Really, ultimately, what it does is the Move AI solution combined with iCabbi takes trips in, optimizes them, sends them out on manifests to drivers and as group trips, and I suppose you get more for your driver mile on every trip.
More trips, fewer drivers.
More trips, fewer
And,
drivers.
and the
Yeah,
trips that come in, they can be like single bookings, but also shared rides and trips that are linked over big distances as
yeah,
well.
correct. And there's so many different parameters and controls that you can put into the setup, so it can be deeply customized to each fleet, specific to how they operate, how their contracts operate, and indeed whether they're drivers or employees or independent contractors as well.
A lot of the drivers working in the NEMT sector are employees. So obviously, the more you use that employee per hour, the more value you're getting out of your driver, the more money you're making, the more you can invest in your business, the more
Yeah,
demand you can bring in from your broker.
yeah.
It
You, you,
goes out
you,
scales
you've
and scales and scales.
you've got to sweat the asset, and I think one of the big things that we're bringing to people as well is visibility on their data. So we got some KPIs in there, key performance indicators, where we can show them how much a trip is costing them, where they're saving money, where they're inefficient, and how we can change that in their business.
And I guess meeting the SLAs as well, like on time performance is a big one, isn't it? And being
Yeah.
able to deliver that service agreement, and I suppose give the passenger in the car a good experience as well in terms of what they can offer
It
consistency and
certainly is, and I guess if you put yourself in the passenger shoes, some of these medical type trips that they're doing can be quite stressful, tiring, and so on. So for them to know that they're getting a better service is, you're doing something for your community in a way as well.
the MoveX platform, which is a separate technology company to ours, which is now part of the iCabbi family, and we're delighted with Ron and Michael and Ohad and all our new friends in MoveX. That is a standalone platform that companies use for things like school shuttle or employee shuttles and school buses and coach services. So although Move AI has in the first instance been developed specifically to support NEMT work in North America, can customers start to use Move AI for other types of transportation provision as well?
Yeah, we already have case studies and examples where we have customers using it for microtransit as an example. So, for those who aren't familiar with the term, it's where taxis can be used to support and supplement fixed route buses and during quieter times. So, as an example, a bus might cost $500 an hour to run, and if it's nearly empty for that whole hour, it's a really expensive. Whereas if you can have a taxi come in and supplement that, that's great. The other side of things you've got there is, as you said, employee transportation. This is a growing sort of demand that we're seeing within the industry, where companies are looking at how they can transport their employees in a more efficient, environmentally friendly way. People don't want everybody driving in cars. school transportation, it's huge. So this has big applications outside the US and Canada as well. So in the UK, we're seeing a lot of interest already in that as well. So really, it's such a flexible system. It's designed to move people and things around the place in the most efficient way possible. And I think we're seeing that happen already.
For our fleets, I guess that means that here is a solution to diversify your business. So any ambitious customers out there, of which we have many, can look at this project and say, now I can start offering this, that, and the other kind of services into their cities and into the businesses that they may already or want to work for in their towns, which is very exciting.
Yeah.
It's taxi and beyond, basically, Bob, isn't it?
Yeah, and something we've always loved in this industry is getting people together and for them sharing their knowledge, their experiences, their learnings and so on. And now we have this new solution that can open up new revenue opportunities to companies, and they'll be sharing that with each other at the events we host or the trade events that we attend. So it'll be talking about a lot more than just taxi.
It's going to be very noisy at our event that's coming up in Orlando, Florida, the 2nd and 3rd of May. We've actually got a big crowd coming already, and I think it's a really good event for any of our customers in North America to go to if they're not signed up, because there's going to be a lot of product on show there, not just the Move AI product, but also developments around Google, which is very exciting in terms of what we can now offer, building our platform on top of real-time data in the way that it's now being configured. What would you say to customers about coming to Orlando? Face-to-face is critical, right?
Yeah, face-to-face is in our experience that the best thing we have is our people are experienced, and we like to have a good time with them as well. But I think perhaps in the last few years, there's been a growing call for the solution that we now have. And if there's any thought of we'll be going to an event that we've already been to, it's very wide of the mark. This is a very different event to last year and the previous years' ones. Big focus on new verticals in transportation and what our solutions can do. Panel discussions, with things like brokers and talking about regulations and talking about
NEMT fraud is a big piece of topic.
And the evolution of transportation within the city is something that I'm going to be talking about. So, there's now social responsibilities, environmental responsibilities, and how can we have an impact and help companies to achieve their goals relative to what their cities want.
Yeah, I think this conference has everything, including the sunshine, which is very important to us because there's a big
golf,
crowd
Sinead.
coming from Dublin. Golf.
Yeah, golf.
Panels on everything, demos of new products, Google, lots of discussion, loads of networking. We're even having dinner in a science museum. Did you know that?
I was aware of that, Sinead, yeah. You might even go on a roller coaster.
Oh, I would love that. Big question. So Move AI is now out and about, now out in North America to a select number of fleets. Can you tell us a little bit about the rollout of the product, how it's going to phase up from where it currently is, and how we're going to approach that?
Yeah, so we had our very first pilot, believe it or not, it was nearly a year ago. And I think one of the challenges we had with that was that people expected a lot more from us a lot quicker. But what we've done is we've taken the time over the year to really nail down the product to a point where it's of huge value to taxi companies. So we had some very supportive customers who helped us out in that initial pilot last year, who are now taking it on and seeing the fruits of all of their responses and feedback and engagements. And they've been very, very patient with us, very supportive. So we've got 3 of those customers live this week. Next week we're increasing the volumes, and we're going to see how we get on with that. And from after that week, we're really hitting it hard. Getting companies live, 3, 4, 5, 6 companies a week live on the solution. And to be honest, it's a salesperson's dream because the product sells itself. I've never seen so much interest and demand in a product that we've had. And
let me ask you about that, because the product has arisen because of demand from our customers. So the customers have been asking us for this for a long time, to be fair to them, and it's listening to the customer base that eventually kind of got us to move on this. And it was a long development process, 18 months probably with MoveX. So there are people waiting for this product, which is absolutely great. But because of that, we now have a wait list in operation, and that is growing day by day. And I know that because I actually see all the all the submissions that come in. It's like, oh God, there's more in today. How are we going to manage that wait list, and what message do you have for people that have signed up to that? Like, we are going to get to them all, but what should they expect in terms of their own, I guess, timeline for going live on the product?
Well, I don't want to compare ourselves to Taylor Swift, but it's kind
Well,
of
you just did.
it's kind of similar to that. The demand we're having coming in is it would crash Ticketmaster. But what we're doing is we're trying to do this as fairly as we can. We're putting people in a wait list in consecutive order, and we're taking people as they come on board. A key thing, I guess, is a wait list is a wait list until we actually have a contract in place. You know, you're not really a customer, and once the contract is in place, we will put you in a wait list for implementation. Now we think we got that process nailed, so hopefully it won't be too long that you're in that implementation wait list. We've also resourced up the team in North America, and we've got other people on the sidelines to help if we need it. So it's in all of our interests to get people up and live as soon as possible.
Absolutely.
To do that, we need a contract.
Okay, and to do that, make sure you don't miss a call from Kevin or Ray or Janet, and call them back straight away, because that's them looking to talk to you and get all that organised. Okay, so finally, Bob, can we just talk about you for a moment as well, because you have changed roles in iCabbi, I think probably in January. So tell us a little bit about, you were the CEO of the Taxi Alliance. You've handed it over to the very capable hands of Richard Smith, who's doing a wonderful job. What is your new role in iCabbi?
So I've taken Mick Tope's old role of Chief Strategy Officer. I think, I suppose, if I was to summarise it, it means I do a bit of everything again, which is kind of fun. So I'm getting involved in sales, I'm getting involved in retention, I'm getting involved in the new programs and new direction that the business is going into, whether that's acquisitions, partnerships, that kind of thing. So you know, I like having where there's a bit of change going on day to day, and I've certainly got that in abundance.
Is there a direct correlation with the new role and the amount of flights that you now take around the world?
Don't even talk to me about that.
Where are you off to next?
So Sunday I head off to Edmonton in Canada,
Okay.
And Calgary and Vancouver and Victoria, and then come back, and a week after that probably down to California, and the week after that will then be Orlando. So
Is it
it's
that soon?
yeah,
Okay.
lot of travel going on.
Right, well, I'm in Canada next week. I'm in Montreal. I'm in Winnipeg, and I'm in Toronto. So I don't think we'll bump into each other. Hopefully
No,
not.
and isn't that incredible?
Visiting
We've got
customers,
people flying
yeah,
all
all
over
over
the
the
place,
place.
and we're going to different places. But no, look, we can do an air mile comparison at the end of the year.
Look, Canada, here we come, and I'll see you in Orlando.
Super, thanks, Sinead.